want them to know, to grow up in and value the individual, family, nation, and God beats race, gender, sexuality, and climate if we have the courage to actually stand for our own vision. Answer what it means to be an American in the year 2024. What are the actual values that bind us together? We've been so taught to celebrate our diversity and our differences that we forgot all of the ways that we are actually the same as Americans. Without that, our diversity is actually meaningless. Think about it. What are we? Without that common thread that binds us together, we're really a bunch of different looking two-legged higher mammals with a bunch of different shades of melanin, walk in some geographic space that we call a country, doing what our iPhones tell us to do on a given day. That's the America I see at times. Young people in my generation, certainly my two sons' generation, are lost, hungry for direction, suffering from depression, anxiety, fentanyl overdoses, wokeism, transgenderism. These are all part of the same symptoms of that deeper void. And I think our moment now is to step up and fill that void with the real thing. Answer what it means to be a citizen of this country in the year 2024. It means we believe in merit. And we teach that to our kids and run our schools and our universities accordingly. That you get ahead in this country not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character and your contributions. That's why we're against DEI and the affirmative action agenda. We're against group quota systems because we stand for merit. We stand for the rule of law. And I say this as the kid of legal immigrants to this country. That means your first act of entering this country cannot break the law, because that's what it means to stand for the rule of law in the United States of America. It means the people we elect to run the government ought to be the ones who actually run the government, not the unelected bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. who pull the strings today. And that means we're not just going to reform the Department of Education. It means we got to get in there and actually shut it down to restore that money back to the states and to the people where it belongs. See, these aren't black ideas or white ideas or red ideas or blue ideas, not in my book. These are American ideals that we fought a revolution in 1776 to secure. And I believe, and I know you believe, those ideals still exist. We're going to elect Donald Trump in November to make sure that we have a commander-in-chief who revives those ideals. That's why we're here at this convention in Milwaukee this week. But it's not going to be just one man coming from on high from the White House to do it. If we are going to be saved, it is going to be because we save ourselves. Every one of us has to step up and do our part. I'll close on a note remembering our founding fathers and the sacrifice that they made in 1776. There were 56 men who signed the Declaration of Independence. We celebrate them. We don't often ask what actually happened to them at the end of it. Of those 56 men, 12 of them had their homes ransacked and burned to the ground by the British. 5 of them were captured and tortured by the British until their deaths. 9 of them died in the Revolutionary War. 3 more of them had their own kids die in the Revolutionary War. They knew the sacrifice they were making. They weren't doing it for them. They were doing it for us. So 250 years later, we could still live in a free country. And I think we live in one of those moments today. I think it is a 1776 moment in the United States of America. 2024 is our generation's 1776. And it's up to every one of us to look ourselves in the mirror. And as I know this group does, and that's why it was so important for me to be here today, I know how Moms for Liberty has fought against the antibody response the system has had against your work. But we require you to continue doing it because our country requires it to survive another 250 years yet to come. So look yourselves in the mirror when you go home after this trip and ask yourself, what are your God-given gifts? And how are you going to use those gifts to do what is right in the short time that we're given? It was 56 men who signed the Declaration of Independence. I think it will be moms across this country who sign our new Declaration of Independence in the year 2024. And if you all do it, I promise you, Donald Trump's going to do his part. I'm going to do my part. Every one of the people on the stage who you've heard today are going to do their part. But if you all do your part, then we don't have to be this nation in decline that we've become. We don't have to be at the end of the ancient Roman Empire as we're taught to believe. What I see is a country that is actually still a little young, going through our own version of our adolescence, figuring out who we're going to be when we grow up. Still that country where I said it's not morning in America, and I meant it, but we still can be that shining city on a hill. That country where we will look our kids in the eye and mean it when we tell them, you get ahead in the United States of America with your own hard work, your own commitment, your own dedication, and that you know what? You are free to speak your mind at every step of the way. That is the American dream. That is what we are running to, and with your help, that is what we will revive to save this great nation. Thank you all. God bless you and your families and your children, and may God bless our United States of America. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. It's good to see you.
So I want to thank everyone for coming today. We really appreciate your support.